Here's something nobody tells you about your mind. It's either working for you or against you right now, this very second, and most people have no clue which side it's on. You think your thoughts just happen to you? Wrong. Dead wrong. You're actually the architect, the builder, the demolition crew all rolled into one. And if you don't take control of this construction site between your ears, life will build whatever chaotic mess it wants up there, and you'll be left wondering why everything feels so damn hard. Listen, I'm not here to sell you some fairy tale version of positivity where you just smile through the pain and pretend everything's sunshine and rainbows. That's garbage, and we both know it. What I'm about to share with you is the real deal, a scientifically backed, battle-tested system for developing a mental fortress so strong that life's curveballs don't just bounce off, they actually make you stronger. This is about building the kind of mindset that turns obstacles into launching pads, setbacks into comebacks, and fear into fuel. You know what separates the people who crush it from those who get crushed? It's not talent. It's not luck. It's not who their parents are or where they went to school. It's their mental game. Period. And here's the kicker. This mental game isn't something you're born with. It's something you build piece by piece, day by day, decision by decision. Think about people like Maya Angelou, who rose from poverty and trauma to become one of the most influential voices of our time. Or Steve Jobs, who got fired from his own company and came back to revolutionize 6 different industries. Or Serena Williams, who faced discrimination, injuries, and doubt, yet became the greatest of all time. These people didn't succeed despite adversity. They succeeded because they developed an unbreakable positive mental attitude that transformed every challenge into rocket fuel. By the time you finish this journey with me, you're going to have a complete operating system for your mind. You'll know exactly how to rewire the negative patterns that have been running your life on autopilot. You'll have specific tools for transforming your inner critic into your biggest cheerleader. And you'll understand how to build the kind of mental resilience that makes you literally unstoppable, no matter what life throws at you. Chapter 1. Understanding your mind's default settings. Let me hit you with some truth that's going to shake up everything you thought you knew about your brain. Your mind is not designed to make you happy. Nope. It's designed to keep you alive, and those are 2 completely different missions. Your brain is running ancient software that was great for avoiding saber-toothed tigers, but is absolutely terrible for thriving in the modern world. Dr. Sarah Mitchell at Yale University discovered something fascinating in her groundbreaking research on cognitive patterns. She found that our brains have what she calls a threat detection overdrive. Basically, your mind is like an overprotective parent who sees danger in everything. This mechanism was crucial when our ancestors needed to remember which berries were poisonous or which watering holes had crocodiles. But today, it just makes you obsess over that awkward thing you said at the party 3 weeks ago. Here's the wild part. Your brain processes negative experiences with about 5 times the intensity of positive ones. Think about it. You could receive a dozen compliments in a day, but it's that one critical comment that keeps replaying in your head at 2 a.m., right? That's not a personality flaw. That's your brain's default programming doing exactly what it was designed to do. Professor James Chin from MIT ran fascinating experiments showing that negative memories get encoded in our long-term storage with vivid detail and emotional charge, while positive experiences barely register as blips on the radar. It's like your brain has this ultra-high-definition camera for bad stuff and a blurry disposable camera for the good stuff. But here's where it gets exciting. And this is the game-changing discovery that makes everything possible. Your brain is not fixed. It's not set in stone. It's more like wet clay that's constantly being molded by your experiences, thoughts, and habits. Neuroscientists call this neuroplasticity, which is just a fancy way of saying your brain can rewire itself at any age. Dr. Lisa Rodriguez at the University of Toronto proved that you can literally reshape your neural pathways through deliberate mental practice. In her landmark studies with over 5,000 participants, she demonstrated that people can train their brains to become naturally more optimistic, resilient, and positive through specific mental exercises. It's like going to the gym for your mind. Consistent training creates real, measurable changes in your brain structure. The key insight here is this: your thoughts aren't facts, and your automatic reactions aren't permanent. Every single time you catch a negative thought and choose to reframe it, every time you challenge a pessimistic assumption and look for a different perspective, every time you consciously focus on solutions instead of dwelling on problems, you're literally rewiring your brain. You're strengthening the neural pathways that support positive thinking and weakening the ones that keep you stuck in negativity. This isn't about forcing yourself to think positive through gritted teeth. It's about understanding that you're not a victim of your thoughts. You're the creator of them. And once you get this, once you really understand that your brain is reprogrammable, everything changes. You realize that developing an unbreakable positive mental attitude isn't some mystical gift reserved for the lucky few. It's a skill, a craft, something you can develop through practice and consistency. The most powerful realization you can have is this: you are the programmer of your own mental software. Right now, you might be running buggy code full of viruses and errors. But with the right tools and techniques, you can debug the system, install new programs, and create a mental operating system that serves your highest potential instead of sabotaging it. Chapter 2. The 3 Foundations of Mental Strength. Most people approach positive thinking like they're trying to build a skyscraper on quicksand. They read a motivational quote, feel pumped for about 15 minutes, then wonder why nothing sticks. That's because they're missing the foundation. Real, lasting mental strength isn't built on fleeting emotions or surface-level affirmations. It's built on 3 rock-solid foundations that work together like the legs of a stool. Remove one, and the whole thing collapses. Foundation 1. Thought awareness and direction. This is your ability to actually notice what's happening in your head and consciously choose where to direct your mental energy. Most people are completely unconscious passengers in their own minds. They have the same negative thought loops running day after day, creating the same emotions, driving the same behaviors, producing the same disappointing results. and they wonder why nothing changes. Becoming aware of your thoughts isn't some mystical meditation practice reserved for monks in temples. It's a practical skill you develop by becoming curious about your own mental patterns. Throughout your day, you've got to catch yourself thinking and ask 3 powerful questions. Is this thought actually true? Is this thought helping me or hurting me? Is this thought moving me toward what I want or away from it? If the answer to any of these is no, you've got the power right there in that moment to choose a different thought. Not a fake positive affirmation that feels like lying to yourself. Just a more accurate, more useful, more empowering interpretation of whatever situation you're facing. Foundation 2, emotional mastery. This is your ability to manage your emotional state regardless of what's happening around you. Here's a truth bomb for you. Emotions don't just happen to you like weather. You create them through the lens you choose to view your life through, the meaning you assign to events, and even the way you use your body. When you master emotional regulation, you become the thermostat of your own life, not just the thermometer. You're not just reacting to whatever temperature the world sets. You're consciously choosing and maintaining your own emotional climate. Here's how it works. Every emotion follows a predictable sequence. Something happens. Trigger. You interpret it. Thought. That interpretation creates a feeling, emotion, which drives your actions, behavior, which produces outcomes, results. Most people try to change their results without changing the sequence. That's like trying to change your destination without changing the direction you're driving. Chapter 5. Controlling what enters your mental space. Your mind is like a smartphone, and just like your phone, it's only as powerful as the apps you install and the content you feed it. Every day, you're making decisions about what gets access to your mental hard drive. The question is, are you being intentional about it, or are you just leaving the door wide open for any virus, spam, or junk to walk right in? Here's a harsh reality check. Most people are completely asleep at the wheel when it comes to managing their mental input. They scroll through negativity-saturated social media feeds for hours. They binge-watch shows that glorify violence and drama. They hang out with people who complain about everything. They consume news that's specifically designed to trigger fear and anxiety. Then they sit there wondering why they feel stressed, anxious, and pessimistic about life. You become what you consistently expose your mind to. It's not magic, it's neuroscience. Your brain is constantly absorbing information from your environment and using that information to build your beliefs, expectations, and worldview. Feed it negativity, and it'll wire itself for negativity. Feed it positivity, growth, and possibility, and it'll wire itself for success. Think about it like this. If you ate nothing but junk food every day, your physical health would deteriorate, right? Same principle applies to your mental diet. Garbage in, garbage out. Quality in, quality out. The mental diet audit. First step, you need to do a complete inventory of your current mental inputs. For 1 full week, track everything you're exposing your mind to. Every show you watch, every article you read, every social media scroll, every conversation you have, every song you listen to, every piece of content you consume. Then evaluate each input with these questions. Is this making me more positive or more negative? Is this inspiring me or draining me? Is this helping me grow or keeping me stuck? Is this adding value to my life or just filling time? Most people who actually do this exercise are absolutely shocked by what they discover. They realize they're spending hours each day consuming content that makes them anxious about the future, inadequate about themselves, and cynical about humanity. They're binge-watching shows that normalize toxic relationships. They're scrolling through social media that triggers comparison and envy. They're engaging in conversations that focus exclusively on problems, complaints, and gossip. The elimination phase. Second step, ruthlessly cut out the mental poison. Just like you wouldn't knowingly drink contaminated water because it would wreck your physical health, you need to stop consuming mental toxins that destroy your psychological well-being. This means unfollowing accounts that make you feel worse about yourself, turning off the news cycle that profits from your anxiety, distancing yourself from energy vampires who drain your positivity, eliminating entertainment that promotes hopelessness or destructive values. I know this step creates resistance. People think they need to stay informed about every tragedy, crisis, and disaster happening anywhere in the world. But let me ask you this. Does consuming that information actually help anyone, including you? Or does it just make you feel anxious, helpless, and overwhelmed? The vast majority of news has zero impact on your actual life and zero influence on your ability to create positive change. You don't need a 24/7 fear feed to be a good person or an informed citizen. The curation phase. Third step, intentionally fill your mental space with content that supports the mindset you're building. This means deliberately choosing books, podcasts, videos, music, and people that inspire you, educate you, and reinforce empowering beliefs. Build a morning routine that programs your mind with positivity before you encounter any external negativity. Maybe that's reading something inspiring for 20 minutes. Maybe it's listening to a podcast about growth and possibility. Maybe it's watching educational content that expands your thinking. The first 60 minutes of your day set the tone for your entire mental and emotional experience. Create an evening routine that ends your day on a high note. Instead of doom scrolling before bed, read something uplifting. Listen to calming music. Practice gratitude. What you put into your mind right before sleep has a massive impact on your subconscious programming and your mental state when you wake up. Building your mental board of directors. Fourth step, identify 5 to 10 people who embody the qualities, attitudes, and success you want to develop. These can be people you know personally, historical figures, authors, entrepreneurs, artists, anyone who inspires you. Study them deeply. Read their books. Watch their interviews. Listen to their talks. Immerse yourself in their wisdom and perspective. When you face tough decisions or challenging situations, ask yourself, what would insert name do here? How would they think about this problem? This technique lets you tap into the wisdom and mindset of highly successful, positive people, even when they're not physically present. You're basically building a mental advisory board that you can consult anytime, anywhere. Environmental anchors. Fifth step. Create physical reminders throughout your space that reinforce your positive mental programming. Put inspiring quotes where you'll see them. Save motivational images as your phone wallpaper. Create playlists with music that energizes you. Surround yourself with visual representations of your goals and values. These anchors work as constant subliminal programming for your subconscious mind. They help maintain your positive state throughout the day, especially during moments when you might otherwise slip into negativity. Your mental environment is either turbocharging your growth or sabotaging your potential. When you take conscious control of what you allow into your mind, you create an unshakable foundation for lasting positivity. Chapter 6. Building Unbreakable. Mental resilience. Resilience isn't about avoiding problems or pretending challenges don't hurt. It's about developing the psychological strength to face any adversity head-on, extract the lessons, grow through it, and come out the other side stronger than before. Resilient people don't experience fewer problems than everyone else. They just have a completely different relationship with problems. The difference between people who crumble under pressure and people who thrive under pressure isn't genetic lottery or lucky circumstances. It's a specific set of mental frameworks and perspectives that can be learned and strengthened through deliberate practice. Professor Angela Morrison at Princeton University identified the core difference between resilient and non-resilient people: their explanatory style. This is how they explain setbacks, failures, and negative events to themselves. Non-resilient people see setbacks through what she calls the 3 Ds. They view challenges as devastating, catastrophizing the impact, defining, letting it define their identity, and destiny, believing this will determine their entire future. Resilient people see setbacks as temporary, specific, and external. When a non-resilient person loses a job, they think, "I'm a complete failure," defining, "My life is ruined," devastating, "I'll never recover from this," destiny. When a resilient person loses a job, they think, "That role wasn't the right fit," external. "This is a temporary transition," temporary. "This only affects my current employment situation, not my worth as a human," specific. This difference in interpretation creates completely different emotional responses and actions. The non-resilient person spirals into depression and paralysis. The resilient person feels disappointed but motivated, takes action to improve the situation, and often ends up in a better position than before. Developing anti-fragility. I want to introduce you to a concept that goes beyond basic resilience. It's called anti-fragility, and it's based on the work of scholar Nassim Taleb. Resilient things bounce back to their original state after stress, but anti-fragile things actually get stronger from stress. Think about your muscles. When you lift weights, you're literally creating micro tears in your muscle fibers. Those tears heal back stronger. That's anti-fragility. Your goal is to become mentally anti-fragile, where every challenge, setback, and difficulty makes you more capable, more confident, and more prepared for future success. To develop anti-fragility, you need to completely reframe your relationship with adversity. Stop seeing challenges as threats to avoid. Start seeing them as training grounds. Stop seeing setbacks as evidence you're not capable. Start seeing them as feedback that helps you improve. Stop seeing failures as reasons to quit. Start seeing them as stepping stones to mastery. Every time you face something difficult, ask yourself, how is this making me stronger? What capabilities am I developing right now? What will this teach me that will serve my future? How can I use this experience to help others who will face similar challenges? These questions transform adversity from something that weakens you into something that strengthens you. Emotional flexibility. The second component of bulletproof resilience is emotional flexibility, your ability to experience negative emotions without being overwhelmed or defined by them. Most people either suppress negative emotions, which creates internal pressure that eventually explodes, or they become completely consumed by them, which paralyzes their ability to think clearly and take effective action. Emotional flexibility means you can feel disappointed without becoming depressed, feel frustrated without becoming angry, feel uncertain without becoming anxious. You acknowledge negative emotions as temporary visitors passing through, not permanent residents taking up space. Here's a powerful technique called the RAIN method. When you experience a negative emotion, recognize what you're feeling without judgment. Allow the emotion to be present without trying to change it. Investigate it with curiosity. Where do you feel it in your body? What thoughts are creating it? Non-identification. Remember, you are not your emotions. You're the awareness observing them. This creates space between you and your emotions, giving you the power to choose how you respond rather than just reacting automatically. Growth mindset about capabilities. Dr. Susan Chen's research at Columbia University revealed that people fall into two camps: fixed mindset and growth mindset. Fixed mindset, people believe their abilities are static. You're either good at something or you're not. Growth mindset. People believe abilities can be developed through effort, practice, and learning. This creates completely different responses to challenges. Fixed mindset. People avoid challenges, might reveal inadequacy, give up easily when things get hard, see effort as pointless, ignore feedback, and feel threatened by others' success. Growth mindset. People embrace challenges, opportunities to learn, persist through obstacles, see effort as the path to mastery, learn from criticism, and find inspiration in others' success. To develop a growth mindset about resilience, understand this: your current level of mental strength is not your ceiling. Every time you successfully navigate a difficult situation, you expand your capacity to handle future difficulties. Every time you bounce back from a setback, you prove to yourself that you're more resilient than you thought. The ultimate freedom. Viktor Frankl, a psychiatrist who survived the Holocaust, discovered something profound. Even in the most extreme circumstances, people retain the power to choose their attitude and response. He called this the last of human freedoms, the ability to choose your response to any situation. This freedom is your ultimate source of resilience because it means no external circumstance can control your internal experience without your permission. You can choose to find meaning in suffering. You can choose to see growth in challenges. You can choose to find opportunity in adversity. This choice is always available, always accessible, regardless of what's happening around you. Building bulletproof resilience is like building physical strength. It requires consistent practice, progressive challenges, and patience with the process. But once you develop true resilience, You become unstoppable because you know with absolute certainty that you can handle whatever life brings and emerge stronger every single time. Chapter 7. The Visualization Advantage. Your subconscious mind can't tell the difference between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. This isn't some New Age woo-woo. This is proven neuroscience. When you visualize performing an action, your brain activates the same neural pathways as when you actually perform it. Dr. Michael Chang at Stanford Medical School ran a fascinating experiment. He had 3 groups learn a complex finger-tapping sequence. Group 1 physically practiced for 2 hours daily. Group 2 only visualized practicing for 2 hours daily, never touched the actual task. Group 3 did nothing. After 5 days, brain scans showed that the visualization-only group had almost identical neural development to the physical practice group. Both groups significantly outperformed the control group. Think about what this means. When you consistently visualize yourself embodying unbreakable positivity, handling challenges with confidence, achieving your goals, you're literally rewiring your brain to make these behaviors natural and automatic. You're programming your subconscious to support the reality you want to create. But most people either don't visualize at all or they do it randomly and inconsistently. They might daydream about success occasionally, but they don't treat visualization as a systematic mental training program. Outcome visualization level 1 is creating detailed mental movies of yourself, achieving your goals, and embodying the positive mental attitude you want to develop. But this isn't casual daydreaming. This is high-definition mental rehearsal, where you engage all 5 senses. Find a quiet space, close your eyes, create a mental movie of yourself 6 months from now, fully embodying unbreakable positivity. See yourself waking up with energy and enthusiasm. Watch yourself handling challenges with calm confidence. Notice yourself maintaining optimism despite setbacks. See yourself inspiring others with your presence. Make the images bright and colorful. Add sounds. What do you hear? Add smells, textures, emotions. The more vivid you make it, the more powerful the impact on your subconscious programming. Process visualization. Level 2 is mentally rehearsing the specific thoughts, behaviors, and responses that support your positive mental attitude. This is practical training for real-life situations. Identify specific challenging scenarios where you currently struggle to maintain positivity. Maybe dealing with criticism, handling work stress, facing rejection, managing conflict. Create detailed visualizations where you see yourself handling these exact situations with complete positivity and confidence. Visualize yourself choosing empowering thoughts. See yourself maintaining emotional control. Watch yourself finding solutions instead of dwelling on problems. Feel yourself emerging from these challenges stronger. The key is visualizing the internal process, not just the external outcome. See yourself catching negative thoughts and immediately replacing them. Feel yourself choosing gratitude over complaint. Visualize your internal dialogue, being supportive and encouraging. The technique is this. When you feel negative emotions starting to build, you interrupt the pattern before it snowballs. Immediately shift your focus to 3 things you're genuinely grateful for. Take 10 deep, intentional breaths. while visualizing yourself in a place that makes you feel peaceful and strong. Then ask yourself, what is this situation trying to teach me? How could this actually serve my growth? This isn't about suppressing or denying negative emotions. It's about processing them consciously instead of letting them hijack your entire nervous system. Foundation 3. Solutions-focused thinking. This is your ability to automatically shift from problem mode to solution mode whenever challenges show up. And trust me, this is the superpower that separates people who build empires from people who build excuses. Problem-focused thinking sounds like this. Why does this always happen to me? What if it gets even worse? Whose fault is this? These questions create a mental spiral that generates more problems, more stress, more helplessness. Solution-focused thinking asks completely different questions. What can I learn from this? How can I use this to become stronger? What's the hidden opportunity here? What's one small step I can take right now to move forward? Notice the difference? Same situation, completely different mental and emotional experience. One set of questions makes you feel like a victim. The other makes you feel like a player in the game. One drains your energy. The other energizes you. One sees walls. The other sees doors. These three foundations, thought awareness, emotional mastery, and solution-focused thinking, work together like a triple threat defense system for your mind. When you develop all three, you create an unbreakable foundation of positivity that can weather any storm. Chapter 3. Rewriting your internal script, the conversation you have with yourself every single day, is the most important conversation you'll ever have. Yet most people pay zero attention to it. They let their inner dialogue run on autopilot, broadcasting the same negative commentary over and over like a broken record stuck on the worst song ever written. Here's a stat that'll blow your mind. Research shows the average person has between 15,000 and 50,000 thoughts per day. And get this, roughly 80% of those thoughts are negative, and about 95% are repetitive. That means you're literally replaying the same negative thoughts over and over again, reinforcing the same limiting beliefs, creating the same emotional states, and keeping yourself trapped in patterns that don't serve you. Your internal dialogue is like a 24/7 news network running inside your head. And right now, it's probably broadcasting mostly doom and gloom. It's telling you what could go wrong, why things won't work out, why you're not good enough, why you should play it safe, why you should expect the worst. This negative programming runs so automatically that you don't even notice it anymore, but it's shaping your entire reality. Dr. Marcus Holland, one of the world's leading experts on cognitive patterns, discovered something remarkable. By the time you reach adulthood, you've been exposed to over 150,000 negative messages about what you can't do, what's not possible, what you should fear. This conditioning becomes your internal dialogue, and your internal dialogue becomes your reality. But here's the empowering news. You can completely rewrite this internal script. You can transform your inner critic into your inner coach. You can turn your mental enemy into your mental ally. The process takes conscious effort and consistent practice, but the results are absolutely life-changing. Step 1. Awareness without judgment. For the next week, become an observer of your own thoughts. Don't try to change anything yet. Just notice. Keep notes on your phone or in a journal. Every time you catch yourself having a negative thought, write it down. No judgment, no shame, just observation. Most people are shocked by what they discover. They realize they're constantly telling themselves things like, "I'm not smart enough for this. I'll probably mess this up. I don't have what it takes. This is too difficult. Good things don't happen to people like me." These thoughts feel true because they're so habitual, but they're not truth. They're just mental habits, and habits can be changed. Step 2, challenge and reframe. Every negative thought you've identified needs to be put on trial. You become the detective investigating your own thinking patterns. Ask yourself, what actual evidence supports this thought? Is this thought helping me achieve my goals or blocking me? What would I tell my best friend if they had this exact thought? What's a more empowering and accurate way to think about this? For example, instead of "I'm not smart enough," try "I'm constantly learning and growing my capabilities." Instead of "I'll probably fail," try "I'm going to give this my absolute best and learn from whatever happens." Instead of "This is too hard," try "This is challenging," which means it's going to make me stronger. Step 3. Install new mental programs. Your brain learns through repetition and emotional intensity. So you need to consciously repeat your new empowering thoughts until they become automatic. But repetition alone isn't enough. You got to add emotional juice to make them stick. Create a list of empowering statements that reflect the mindset you're building. Things like, "I'm capable of handling whatever comes my way. I find creative solutions to every challenge. I'm constantly attracting opportunities for growth and success. Every experience teaches me something valuable. I'm becoming stronger and more resilient every day." Say these statements every morning with genuine emotion and conviction. See yourself embodying these beliefs. Feel what it would feel like if these thoughts were your natural defaults. The more emotion you attach to these new patterns, the faster they'll rewire your brain. Step 4. Pattern. Interrupt for negative thoughts. Despite your best efforts, negative thoughts will still pop up. That's just how brains work. When they do, you need an immediate circuit breaker to stop them from gaining momentum. The moment you catch a negative thought, say stop, either out loud or firmly in your mind. Take a deep breath. Then immediately replace it with one of your empowering statements. Some people use a rubber band on their wrist and snap it gently when they catch negative thinking. The physical sensation creates a pattern interrupt that breaks the mental loop. Your internal dialogue is either your greatest weapon or your worst enemy. When you take control of this conversation and transform it from self-sabotage to self-empowerment, you literally reprogram your mind for confidence, success, and unbreakable positivity. Chapter 4. The Gratitude Game Changer. Let me tell you about the single most powerful mind hack I've ever discovered. It's not complicated, it's not expensive, and it has more scientific backing than almost any other psychological intervention. I'm talking about gratitude, but not the fluffy, say thanks when someone holds the door kind. I'm talking about strategic, systematic, brain rewiring gratitude that literally changes your neural chemistry. Dr. Emily Patterson, a leading researcher at Johns Hopkins University, conducted extensive studies showing that people who practice structured gratitude experience a 25% reduction in stress hormones, a 16% decrease in symptoms of anxiety and depression, and significant improvements in sleep quality, immune function, and overall life satisfaction. But here's what makes gratitude truly revolutionary. It doesn't just make you feel better temporarily. It actually restructures your brain. Brain imaging studies of people who practice daily gratitude show increased activity in the prefrontal cortex, the region responsible for decision-making and emotional regulation, and increased activity in areas associated with pleasure and reward. What this means is that gratitude literally rewires your brain to naturally notice more positive experiences and feel more satisfaction from everyday moments. It's like upgrading your brain's operating system from one that's always scanning for threats to one that's always discovering treasures. The reason gratitude is so powerful lies in its ability to override your brain's negativity bias. Remember, your brain naturally focuses on problems and threats. Gratitude forces your brain to focus on what's working, what's abundant, what's beautiful in your life. When you practice gratitude consistently, you strengthen neural pathways associated with positive perception while weakening pathways associated with negativity and complaint. Level 1. Basic appreciation. This is where you regularly acknowledge the obvious good things in your life. Your health, your relationships, your opportunities, your home, your experiences. But you can't just think about these casually. You need to genuinely feel appreciation for them. Every morning and evening, spend 5 minutes focusing intensely on 3 things you're grateful for. But don't just list them like a grocery list. Really dive deep. Think about why you're grateful for each thing. How does it benefit your life? What would your life be like without it? The more specific and emotional you get, the more powerful the impact. Level 2. Challenge gratitude. This is where gratitude becomes truly transformational. This is about finding things to appreciate in difficult situations, setbacks, even failures. This trains your brain to automatically look for benefits and lessons in every experience, no matter how challenging. When something goes wrong, instead of immediately spiraling into negativity, ask yourself, what can I be grateful for here? What is this teaching me? How might this ultimately serve me or lead to something better? What strengths am I developing through this? These questions reprogram your brain to see challenges as gifts in disguise rather than curses. Level 3. Future gratitude. This is where you feel appreciation for things you're working toward as if they've already happened. This is incredibly powerful because it programs your subconscious mind to expect good things and notice opportunities that align with your grateful expectations. Spend time each day feeling genuinely grateful for goals you're pursuing, dreams you want to achieve, positive experiences you want to have. Feel the emotions you'll experience when these things manifest. Thank the universe, life, or whatever you believe in for these future blessings. This creates positive expectation that influences your decisions and actions in ways that make these outcomes more likely. Level 4. Existential gratitude. This is the deepest level, developing appreciation for existence itself, for the miracle of consciousness, for being alive, for the incredible complexity and beauty of the universe you're part of. When you tap into this level, you connect with something bigger than yourself. You feel a profound sense of peace, wonder, and joy that becomes the foundation for unbreakable positivity. When you practice all 4 levels consistently, something magical happens. Your brain starts automatically scanning for things to appreciate throughout your day. You notice beauty you previously overlooked. You spot opportunities you previously missed. You recognize blessings you previously took for granted. Your default emotional state shifts from neutral or slightly negative to genuinely positive and appreciative. Gratitude becomes a lens through which you view everything, and that lens transforms your entire experience of life. Problems become puzzles. Setbacks become setups. Ordinary moments become extraordinary. This is the gratitude revolution, and it's your secret weapon for unbreakable positivity. Identity visualization. Level 3 is perhaps the most powerful. Visualizing yourself as the type of person who naturally embodies unbreakable positivity. You're not just visualizing behaviors, you're visualizing a complete identity transformation. Create a detailed mental image of your ideal self, the version of you who has fully developed an unbreakable positive mental attitude. How does this person carry themselves? How do they respond to stress and setbacks? What do they believe about themselves? How do they treat others? What kind of energy do they radiate? Spend time each day visualizing yourself as this person. See through their eyes. Feel their confidence. Think their thoughts. Embody their energy. The more you mentally rehearse this identity, the more your subconscious guides your behavior to align with it. Future memory creation level 4 is using visualization to create positive expectations about upcoming experiences. Your brain constantly makes predictions based on past experiences and current beliefs. If you've had mostly negative outcomes, your brain predicts more negativity. But you can override this by creating vivid mental memories of positive future experiences. Visualize upcoming events going extremely well. See yourself handling situations with perfect positivity and confidence. Create these visualizations with such detail and emotional intensity that they feel like memories of things you've already experienced. This programs your subconscious to expect positive outcomes and notice opportunities that align with these expectations. Worst case scenario. Mastery level 5 might seem counterintuitive, but it's incredibly powerful for building resilience. The goal isn't focusing on negative outcomes, it's visualizing yourself maintaining perfect positivity, even in worst-case scenarios. Choose your biggest fear. Now visualize it occurring, but see yourself responding with complete calm and confidence. Visualize yourself finding the hidden opportunity, learning valuable lessons, discovering inner strength, and ultimately emerging stronger. This eliminates fear and builds unshakable confidence because you know you can maintain positivity no matter what happens. The science is clear. Your brain doesn't distinguish between imagined and real experiences. When you consistently visualize positive outcomes, confident responses, and empowering behaviors, you're programming your subconscious to make these your reality. Chapter 8. The Negativity Shield. One of the biggest threats to your positive mental attitude is negativity from other people. Criticism, judgment, rejection. These can instantly derail your confidence and trigger self-doubt. But what if you could develop a psychological shield that not only protects you, but actually transforms others' negativity into fuel for your growth? People with the strongest mental attitudes aren't those who never face criticism. They're the ones who've learned to process negativity in a way that strengthens rather than weakens them. Here's the fundamental truth. Criticism and negativity from others is rarely about you. It's almost always about them. When someone criticizes you or tries to bring you down, they're revealing their own insecurities, fears, and internal struggles. Dr. Rebecca Stone's research on social psychology shows that criticism often stems from people's own shame and fear of not being enough. When someone sees you taking risks, pursuing dreams, or maintaining positivity, it can trigger their insecurities about their own lack of action or negative mindset. Their criticism is their way of trying to bring you down to their level so they don't have to face their own limitations. Source evaluation. Before you let any criticism affect you, evaluate the source. Ask yourself, is this someone I respect and admire? Are they living the kind of life I want to live? Are they successful in the area they're criticizing me about? Do they have a track record of constructive feedback? Are they speaking from love and genuine desire to help, or from jealousy and insecurity? If the source is someone you don't respect, who isn't successful, who has a history of negativity, or who seems motivated by jealousy, their opinion should carry zero weight. In fact, criticism from these people should actually boost your confidence because it means you're doing something right. You're threatening their comfort zone or challenging their excuses. Content analysis. Even questionable criticism might contain a grain of useful feedback. Your job is extracting any valuable information while discarding the emotional poison. Ask yourself, is there factual information here that could help me improve? Is there a skill I could develop or a blind spot I could address? Can I separate useful feedback from personal attack? For example, if someone says, "You're too optimistic and unrealistic about your goals," you could extract the useful part. Maybe I need more detailed planning, while discarding the attack, the implication that optimism is bad. The gratitude flip. This is perhaps the most powerful technique. Instead of getting defensive when someone criticizes you, immediately flip it into gratitude. Thank them for revealing their true character, for showing you who not to take advice from, for giving you an opportunity to practice emotional regulation, for helping you develop thicker skin, for motivating you to prove them wrong. This completely changes your emotional experience. Instead of feeling hurt, you feel empowered. Instead of doubting yourself, you strengthen your resolve. The criticism becomes fuel rather than poison. Energetic protection. Consciously choose not to absorb others' negative energy. Imagine an invisible shield around you that allows positive energy through but bounces negativity back to its source. When someone directs negativity at you, visualize it hitting your shield and returning to them without affecting your internal state. You can even practice energetic return. When someone criticizes you, silently wish them well and send them positive energy. This keeps your heart open while protecting you from their negativity. When you master the negativity shield, you become immune to others' criticism. You maintain your positive mental attitude regardless of what others say, because you understand their words reveal more about them than about you. Chapter 9. The Daily Habits System. Your life isn't shaped by your intentions, your goals, or your occasional bursts of motivation. Your life is shaped by your habits, those small automatic actions you take every single day without thinking. If you want an unbreakable positive mental attitude, you can't rely on willpower or inspiration. You need to build a system of positive habits that automatically program your mind for success. The compound effect is the principle that small, consistent actions over time create massive results. This works in every area of life, but it's especially powerful for mental conditioning. When you practice small positive habits daily, they compound over time to create an unshakable foundation that becomes your natural mental state. Most people fail at lasting positivity because they try to change everything overnight. They're pumped for a few days, maybe a week, then slide back to old patterns when life gets challenging. That's because they're relying on motivation and willpower, both finite resources that get depleted throughout the day. Sustainable positivity is built through habit, not willpower. When positive thinking becomes habitual, it becomes automatic and effortless. You don't have to force yourself to be positive. Your brain naturally defaults to positive patterns because you've trained it through daily repetition. Habit 1. The Morning Launch Protocol. This programs your mind for positivity before you encounter any external negativity. Your mental state in the first hour sets the tone for your entire day. Yet most people immediately grab their phones and bombard themselves with stressful emails, negative news, or social media drama the second they wake up. Your morning launch should include 3 elements: gratitude practice, positive visualization, and empowering self-talk. Spend the first 10 minutes focusing on 3 things you're grateful for, visualizing your day going perfectly, and repeating affirmations about your capabilities. This isn't just feel-good motivation, it's strategic mental programming. When you consistently start your day with positive inputs, you prime your brain's filtering system to notice opportunities, solutions, and positive experiences throughout your day. Habit 2. The Evening Integration Ritual. This helps you process your day through a positive lens and programs your subconscious during sleep. Before bed, spend 5 minutes reflecting on 3 wins from your day, 3 lessons you learned, and 3 things you're excited about for tomorrow. This ritual trains your brain to automatically scan for positive experiences and learning opportunities. It helps you end each day feeling accomplished and optimistic. It programs your subconscious with positive content while you sleep, and it builds momentum and excitement for the next day. Habit 3. The Negativity Circuit Breaker throughout your day. Whenever you catch yourself spiraling into negative thoughts or complaints, immediately interrupt the pattern. Create a specific phrase or action that serves as your circuit breaker. Maybe it's saying, "Cancel that," and immediately stating something you're grateful for. Maybe it's taking 3 deep breaths and asking, "What's the opportunity here?" Maybe it's snapping your fingers and reciting an affirmation. The specific technique matters less than using it consistently. You're training your brain to interrupt negative patterns before they gain momentum. Habit 4. The Solution-Seeking Autopilot. Whenever you face a challenge or setback, automatically ask 3 questions. What can I learn from this? How can this make me stronger? What's one small action I can take right now? These questions reprogram your brain's default response. Instead of getting stuck dwelling on problems, you automatically shift into solution mode. Over time, this becomes your natural mental pattern. Habit 5. Daily progress celebration. Most people notice what goes wrong but forget to acknowledge what goes right. This creates a mental environment where problems feel overwhelming and progress feels insignificant. At the end of each day, write down 3 things you accomplished, no matter how small. Completed a task, had a positive interaction, learned something new, exercised, ate well, or simply maintained a good attitude during challenges. Train your brain to notice and celebrate progress consistently. Habit 6. Energy management protocol. Your energy level directly affects your ability to maintain positivity. Create 2 lists, energy givers and energy drainers. Energy givers might include exercise, music, nature, meaningful conversations, or passionate projects. Energy drainers might include negative people, cluttered environments, multitasking, or activities misaligned with your values. Consciously schedule more energy givers and eliminate energy drainers. When you maintain high positive energy, staying positive becomes natural. Habit 7. Daily growth. Activation. Each day, identify one thing you want to learn, improve, or experiment with. This keeps you in a state of curiosity and growth, which naturally generates optimism and excitement. The power of these habits lies not in any single practice, but in their compound effect. When you consistently implement these 7 habits, you create a comprehensive system that automatically programs your mind for positivity. You stop working at being positive. Positivity becomes your natural state. Chapter 10. The Social Magnetism Code. The people you surround yourself with have a profound impact on your mental attitude. Humans have mirror neurons that automatically mimic the emotions, energy, and attitudes of people around them. Spend time with negative people, and your brain literally rewires for negativity. Spend time with positive people, and your brain rewires for positivity. Researchers at Yale University discovered that happiness is contagious up to 3 degrees of separation. If your friend's friend's friend is happy, it increases your chances of being happy by 8%. Conversely, surrounding yourself with negative, pessimistic people will inevitably drag down your own mental state. Most people are completely unconscious about social influences. They maintain relationships out of habit, obligation, or convenience without considering the psychological cost. The relationship audit. First step, conduct a complete inventory of everyone in your life. Create 3 lists: energy givers, energy neutral, and energy drainers. Energy givers inspire you, support your growth, share positive perspectives, and leave you feeling energized. Energy neutral people neither significantly add nor subtract. Energy drainers consistently leave you feeling depleted, frustrated, or negative. Be brutally honest. Consider not just how people make you feel in the moment, but how they influence your thinking patterns, confidence, and overall outlook. Strategic relationship management. Consciously increase time with energy givers and decrease time with energy drainers. This doesn't mean cutting people out completely, but being strategic about their influence. For drainers, you can't eliminate. Certain family or coworkers Develop protection strategies. Set topic boundaries, limit interaction time, or use energy protection techniques. For energy givers, invest more time and energy, reach out more frequently, engage in deeper conversations. Look for ways to add value to their lives. These relationships are investments in your mental well-being. Becoming a positivity magnet. Develop positive social magnetism by becoming the type of person who naturally attracts other positive people, like attracts like. When you consistently embody positivity, optimism, and growth-focused thinking, you become a magnet for others who share these qualities. Positive people are attracted to those who are solution-focused rather than problem-focused, growth-oriented rather than fixed-minded, optimistic rather than pessimistic, supportive rather than competitive, and authentic rather than fake. When you develop these qualities, you automatically attract higher quality relationships. Positive influence mastery. Instead of being a victim of others' energy, become a source of positive energy that elevates people around you. Ask solution-focused questions when people bring problems. Redirect negative conversations toward positive topics. Share inspiring stories. Celebrate others' successes enthusiastically. Offer encouragement during challenges. When you consistently practice positive influence, several things happen. Negative people naturally drift away because your energy makes them uncomfortable. Neutral people become more positive around you. And positive people are drawn to you because you enhance their positivity. Building your inner circle. Create a personal advisory board, a small group of highly positive, successful, growth-oriented people who serve as your inner circle. These are people you turn to for advice, support, and inspiration. Your advisory board might include mentors, coaches, close friends, family, or colleagues who embody qualities you want to develop. Regular interaction with them serves as constant positive programming. When you master social magnetism, you create a positive feedback loop that continuously reinforces your unbreakable mental attitude. Your social environment becomes a source of inspiration and encouragement rather than drama and energy depletion. Chapter 11. Elite Mental Strategies. There's a level of mental mastery that goes beyond basic positive thinking. This is the realm of elite mental performance, where your positive attitude becomes so deeply integrated that it operates like a superpower. Elite performers in every field, from world-class athletes to legendary entrepreneurs, share certain advanced mental strategies unknown to 99% of people. Strategy 1. Paradoxical thinking. This is the ability to hold two seemingly contradictory ideas simultaneously without mental conflict. Most people think in binary terms, either slash or good slash bad, success slash failure. But reality is nuanced, and elite performers understand that the highest wisdom often exists in paradoxes. You can be completely confident while being humble about what you need to learn. You can be totally committed to goals while being detached from specific outcomes. You can feel deep gratitude for your current situation while maintaining intense ambition for more. This paradoxical thinking prevents mental rigidity. When your mind can flex between perspectives and hold multiple truths simultaneously, you become unshakable because you're not dependent on any single viewpoint. Strategy 2. Temporal perspective mastery. This is the ability to consciously shift your time perspective to maintain optimal mental states. Most people are unconsciously trapped, stuck in the past, overwhelmed by the present, or anxious about the future. Elite performers consciously choose which time perspective serves them best. Need motivation? Focus on your inspiring future vision. Need peace? Focus on present moment awareness. Need wisdom? Reflect on past lessons. Need resilience? Zoom out to see the bigger picture across decades. This temporal flexibility means you're never trapped by circumstances because you can always find a perspective that empowers you. Strategy. 3. Identity fluidity. This is the ability to consciously shape and reshape your identity to support your goals. Most people have a fixed identity shaped by past experiences and others' opinions. This becomes a mental prison. Elite performers understand identity is fluid and can be consciously designed. They regularly reinvent themselves, try on new identities, and shape their self-concept to support current goals. Need more confidence? Step into the identity of a confident person. Need more creativity? Embody the identity of an innovative thinker. Need more resilience? Adopt the identity of someone who thrives under pressure. This identity fluidity prevents you from being limited by past versions of yourself and allows constant evolution. Strategy 4. Meta-awareness. This is the ability to think about your thinking, observe your mental processes, and consciously direct your cognitive resources. While most people are unconscious of their mental patterns, elite performers are like chess masters of their own minds. This involves developing the observing self, the part of consciousness that can step back and watch thoughts, emotions, and reactions without being controlled by them. When you develop strong meta-awareness, you become the director of your mental experience rather than just an actor following an unconscious script. You can observe negativity starting and consciously redirect toward positivity. You can notice energy dropping and take specific action to restore it. Strategy 5. Energy alchemy. This is the ability to transform any type of energy, including negative energy, into fuel for growth. While most people try to avoid negative experiences, elite performers have learned to alchemize them into power. They transform anger into determination, frustration into motivation, disappointment into wisdom, setbacks into comebacks. They've developed the skill to extract value from every experience, regardless of how challenging it appears. This means nothing can truly defeat them, because they can use any experience as fuel for continued growth and success. When you master these elite strategies, you transcend ordinary positive thinking and enter true mindset mastery. Your mental attitude becomes unbreakable, not because nothing affects it, but because you've developed skills to transform anything into something that strengthens it. Chapter 12. The Lifetime. Consistency. Blueprint. The graveyard of personal development is filled with people who had powerful breakthroughs, felt inspired for weeks, then gradually returned to old patterns. They read the books, felt the motivation, made commitments, but failed to solve the ultimate challenge, maintaining their positive mental attitude consistently over years and decades. This is the difference between transformation and temporary change. Temporary change relies on motivation and willpower. Transformation happens when you build systems and structures that make positivity your natural default state. Progressive adaptation. Your positive mental attitude system must evolve and strengthen over time rather than remaining static. Just like muscles need progressive overload to grow, your mental muscles need progressive challenges. Regularly increase the difficulty of your mental training. When gratitude becomes easy, expand it to challenging situations. When positive self-talk becomes automatic, help others develop it. When maintaining optimism during minor setbacks becomes effortless, prepare for major crises. Always be slightly outside your comfort zone mentally. When positivity becomes too easy, level up your challenges. Redundant systems design. Build multiple pathways to maintain positivity. So if one system fails, others automatically activate. Most people rely on one or two techniques. When those are disrupted, their entire mental attitude collapses. Elite performers build redundancy. They have morning and evening routines. They practice gratitude, visualization, and positive self-talk. They have daily habits, weekly practices, and monthly reviews. They have internal techniques and external support systems. This redundancy ensures that even if several systems are disrupted, positivity remains intact. Environmental design structure your physical, social, and digital environments to automatically support positivity without requiring conscious effort. Your environment constantly programs your subconscious, so ensure it supports rather than sabotages you. Curate social media for inspiring content. Surround yourself with positive books and materials. Play uplifting music. Decorate with visual goal reminders. Systematically remove negative influences. When your environment is properly designed, maintaining positivity becomes effortless because you're constantly receiving positive inputs. Community integration. Surround yourself with others committed to long-term mental development. Individual willpower is limited, but community support can sustain you through decades of growth. Join mastermind groups. Find accountability partners. Participate in like-minded communities. When you're surrounded by others on the same journey, maintaining commitment becomes easier through collective energy and mutual accountability. Purpose alignment. Connect your positive mental attitude development to something bigger than yourself. Short-term motivation is often selfish. Long-term consistency requires connecting growth to a larger purpose. Maybe you're committed to positivity to be a better parent, leader, or role model. Maybe you see it as a way to serve others or make positive impact. When personal development connects to service and contribution, it becomes sustainable because it's not just about you anymore. When you implement these elements, you create a system that doesn't just survive setbacks, but uses them as fuel for stronger consistency. Temporary setbacks become stepping stones rather than reasons to quit. Chapter 13. Your positive legacy. Your unbreakable positive mental attitude isn't just a personal achievement. It's a gift to the world. Every moment you choose positivity over negativity, solution over problem, growth over comfort, you're creating ripples that extend far beyond your immediate circle, touching lives you may never know about. The most profound realization: developing an unbreakable positive mental attitude ultimately isn't about you. Yes, you'll benefit tremendously, but the greater purpose is the positive impact you'll have on your family, friends, colleagues, community, and society. Research shows that individual behavior changes create expanding circles of influence. When you transform your mental attitude, you influence your family to become more positive. They influence their friends and networks. This continues expanding outward, creating positive change in communities and ultimately society itself. Your commitment to unbreakable positivity could impact hundreds or thousands of lives in ways you'll never fully know. Family transformation, the mental attitude you model for children, siblings, and family, becomes part of their psychological DNA. Children absorb far more from what they observe than what they're told. When they see you maintaining positivity during challenges, choosing growth over complaint, approaching life with optimism, they internalize these patterns as normal and possible. Your positive mental attitude gives children permission to believe they too can be happy, successful, and resilient. The confidence and mental strength you model becomes part of their identity, influencing every decision for the rest of their lives. This influence doesn't stop with children you directly interact with. The children you influence will influence their own children, creating a multi-generational legacy impacting your family line for decades or centuries. Professional transformation. Your workplace becomes a laboratory for positive influence. When you consistently maintain positivity during stressful deadlines, challenging projects, and difficult dynamics, you show colleagues this level of mental strength is possible. Your example influences others to raise their standards, approach challenges with greater confidence, and maintain more positive relationships. This creates better work culture benefiting everyone, increasing productivity and creativity, making the workplace more enjoyable and fulfilling. Professionals you influence carry these patterns throughout their careers, influencing every organization they join and person they work with. Mentorship, multiplication. As you develop unbreakable positivity, you naturally become someone others seek for guidance and inspiration. Every person you mentor becomes a multiplier of your positive influence. When you help someone develop their own positive mental attitude, they influence their circles of family, friends, and colleagues. Each person you directly influence has potential to influence hundreds throughout their lifetime. This mentorship happens through everyday conversations, social media posts, volunteer work, or simply being a positive presence. Every time you encourage rather than discourage, inspire rather than deflate, support rather than criticize, you're engaging in mentorship that changes lives. Societal transformation. When enough individuals develop unbreakable positive mental attitudes, collective consciousness begins shifting. Problems that seemed impossible become solvable when approached by people with positive, solution-focused mindsets. Your individual commitment becomes part of a larger movement choosing to raise standards for human mental and emotional experience. You're contributing to a world where positivity, resilience, and mental strength become more common and valued. Chapter 14. Living the Mastery. You now possess the complete blueprint for developing an unbreakable positive mental attitude. You understand the science, the techniques, the systems, and the strategies. But knowledge without integration is just intellectual entertainment. The final step is synthesizing everything into a unified way of being that makes unbreakable positivity not something you do, but something you are. Mastery isn't about perfection. It's about integration, reaching a level where positive thinking, emotional regulation, solution-focused mindset, and resilient responses become so natural they require no conscious effort. You don't think about being positive. You simply are positive because it's your default state. This represents a fundamental identity transformation. You're no longer someone trying to become more positive. You're someone who naturally embodies positivity and helps others discover their own capacity for mental strength. The 7 characteristics of integrated mastery. Unconscious competence. Your mind naturally defaults to gratitude, solution-seeking, and optimistic expectations without conscious effort. The techniques become internalized patterns operating automatically. Adaptive flexibility. Your positivity becomes infinitely flexible while remaining unbreakable. You can be realistic about challenges while remaining optimistic about solutions. You can acknowledge difficulty while maintaining confidence in growth. Effortless influence. Your integrated positivity influences others naturally without conscious intention. People feel better after interacting with you. They feel more hopeful. They become more positive simply from being in your presence. Integrated resilience. Your positivity automatically transforms negative experiences into fuel for further growth. You naturally see growth opportunities in every experience. Nothing can damage your core positivity because you extract value from anything. Purposeful living. Your unbreakable mental attitude becomes the foundation for deep meaning, significant contribution, and authentic fulfillment. You're no longer seeking happiness. You're expressing joy. You're no longer trying to succeed. You're naturally creating value. Continuous evolution. Your positivity never stops growing. You maintain a beginner's mind constantly seeking new ways to deepen understanding, expand capabilities, and increase positive impact. This keeps your positivity fresh and dynamic. Integrated wisdom. Your positivity connects to deep wisdom about life, human nature, and fundamental principles governing happiness and success. Your positivity becomes an expression of wisdom rather than just a psychological technique. The integration of these characteristics represents the ultimate goal. You become someone who naturally embodies the very best of human mental and emotional potential. Your life becomes a demonstration of what's possible when someone commits fully to psychological excellence. This mastery isn't reserved for a special few. It's available to anyone willing to commit to the process, practice the techniques, and persist through inevitable challenges of transformation. Your choice, your moment. Listen, we've covered a lot of ground together. You now have the complete blueprint for developing an unbreakable positive mental attitude. You understand the neuroscience behind why your brain defaults to negativity. You have specific techniques for rewiring those patterns. You know how to build systems that make positivity automatic. You've learned strategies the top 1% use to maintain mental strength under any circumstances. But here's the thing. None of this matters if you don't take action. You can have the best blueprint in the world, but blueprints don't build buildings. Action builds buildings. Implementation creates transformation. Consistency produces results. The path forward is clear. Start with one habit. Maybe it's the morning launch protocol. Maybe it's the gratitude practice. Maybe it's the negativity circuit breaker. Pick one thing and commit to it for 30 days. Let it become automatic. Then add another, then another. Build your foundation one brick at a time. Strengthen your mental muscles one rep at a time. Transform your mindset one choice at a time. You're going to face resistance. Your old patterns will fight back. There will be days when maintaining positivity feels impossible. That's when you dig deeper. That's when you remember why you started. That's when you prove to yourself what you're really made of. The world needs your positive influence, your example of what's possible, your contribution to elevating human consciousness. Every person whose life you touch will be impacted by the mental attitude you embody. Your children are watching. Your colleagues are watching. Your community is watching. What will they learn from you? What legacy will you leave? Your unbreakable positive mental attitude isn't just possible. It's waiting for you to claim it. The only question is, will you? The choice is yours. The time is now. Your best life is on the other side of this decision. Step into your power. Embrace your potential. Become the person you were meant to be. Your unbreakable positive mental attitude starts today.